Greetings. I am officially 55. Today is September 10th, Thursday. It's my birthday. My mom's birthday was 2 days ago. Yesterday we celebrated because we tend to always celebrate on the 9th. And we went to what has become our tradition, going to Red Lobster. So, and it's good. Red Lobster, a lot of people make fun of it, but if you haven't been there in a while, you'd be surprised. It's actually pretty good food. I mean, you can't mess up seafood when it's just fresh seafood and drawn butter, and you just sit and eat salmon and lobster and shrimp and a baked potato and a salad. And it's not cheap going to Red Lobster anymore. I mean, it's because they kind of fixed it up. But she had not been out to eat since the quarantine started, or the whole staying at home shelter in place. So this was her first time outing at a restaurant, and it was handled beautifully at the restaurant. They set us in a section just by ourselves. There was nobody else around us, like at this little boothy area towards the rear of the restaurant. There was like 4 tables, but we were the only one in that section. And then they had the tables really like not just every other table, but like every 2 tables. So people were nowhere, like 12 feet apart from each other. And they were asked, and there was no salt or pepper on the table, so that if you had to request salt and pepper, not that we did, because the food tends to be a little bit on the salty side, because it's seafood and has got lots of sodium in it. And then all the butter. Oh my God, so much butter, 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 butter. But, they kept it very safe and sanitary, and we had a good time. We exchanged gifts. I'm not a big gift person. I always feel awkward receiving gifts. I don't know why. Maybe because I knew growing up, my mom was very financially strapped. So I never really ever requested anything for my birthday or Christmas. So I never said what I wanted. So I've always been a mystery as to what to get, because I never say, this is what I want for my birthday usually, or this is what I want for Christmas. So she's 91. I don't know what to get her. And she mentioned she loves to pamper herself since she's staying at home so much. So I got her like bath soaps and bath salts and foot scrub and facial mask and all kinds of goodies that smell really good, and little munchies, like chocolates and stuff. But lots of little soaps and toiletry items. So she gives me a gift bag with stuff in there. And it's toiletry items too. We swapped similar gifts, and it's like, God, great minds think alike. So I had a bag of goodies, with soaps and creams and the same kind of stuff I gave her. It was perfect, actually, because I'll use it. I don't have to buy soap now for months. So but it was interesting because as I was opening my gifts, because she wanted me to open my gifts first, I'm kind of laughing. She said, "Why are you laughing so much?" She said, "Wait till you see your gift." And she opens hers and is like, "I have a bar of soap. She's got a bar of soap. I have a lotion. She's got a lotion." I mean, it was one of those funny things that it was just, we were on the same page, as if we had coordinated. But it was almost like I bought it for myself, basically, because I gave her what she gave me, and it was pretty much almost the same. I mean, different scents and so on, but it was pretty similar bags. And so that was very enjoyable. But we were reflecting about this last year, because starting September 10th of 2019, 54, and for her 90th year, because she turned 91, this was really a bad year. I mean, it was a disastrous year overall. 54 will go down as probably the worst year of my life. I'm glad it's over. Of course, we're still in the middle of COVID. But, it pretty much everything was okay in the month of September last year. And then October 20th, the tornado hit that devastated her condo complex. And, we were talking about how she wasn't even aware how bad the disaster was. And for me, the trauma of trying to get to her, it took me 2 hours to go 6.5 miles because of all the debris and just the destruction. And, she was without power, or, it just was such an ordeal. Having to eventually find her a hotel she could stay at for a while, having it just, I mean, they're still reconstructing. I mean, it's not even built back. They had to demolish like a third of her condo complex. All the repairs that needed to be happening, the debris, it was just so traumatic dealing with all of that. And at one point it looked like they were going to condemn the entire building, or the whole complex, because there's a series of buildings that are connected. But they didn't just condemn hers, but all of a sudden we were told we had to find a place for her to stay in 7 days, a new residence, and having to try to do that. And then they decided, well, they're going to be able to fix her building. It was just traumatic dealing with the whole ordeal, and then dealing with the insurance, and then dealing with the condo complex. It just sort of got that squared away by January, and then by March we have coronavirus, and it just was not a good year. It was not a good year. Oh, by the way, I shaved. I decided I'd look young again for my 55th. My hair's getting really long again, but I'm hesitating about going to get it cut. I didn't do anything today to it, so this is my natural, semi-curly, semi-straight, thinning hair at the top. But anyhow, I kind of like the fresh face. But of course, why waste razors? Because I've got a mask on all the time. So it's like, I've saved a bundle on razors this year. And I nix and cuts on the face, because that always does happen. But yeah, it was a really tough year. I'm glad it's over. And hopefully 55 will be much better. Of course, we're still in the middle of the COVID crisis. But Dallas went from red to orange because we have been following the rules in Dallas, and things are happening again. I mean, like tonight, the symphony orchestra was going to play not to a full house. But other arts organizations I'm starting up my show. I send out the notice to the actors to confirm who's going to be in the show for the Burlesque Nutcracker, but it looks like we will be able to do it. Since we're not level red, we're level orange, and there's all these precautions we have to take, but it's doable now. These people have been masking here in Dallas County because it got so bad for a while when we were leading the nation with cases, to now really, I mean, there's still 100 to 200 cases a day, but we're not in the 1,500 range per day, and it's getting under control. So people keep wearing your masks, please. I'm ready for this to be over. On the political front, Trump got caught on tape with Bob Woodward, confessing that he knew how bad the coronavirus was and he was going to downplay it back in February. So he had knowledge, and he intentionally misled the American public. He said, well, I don't want to cause panic. For the man who cries wolf all the time, that the whole country's about to explode in anarchy, and that there's these mobs of thugs, as he uses the term liberally, but not to white people. It's a very specifically race-baited term, that are going to be going into the suburbs and the rural areas. For the one who's always trying to create panic, for him to say, well, I didn't want to panic the American people, he got caught lying. Why would anybody talk to Bob Woodward? All the president's men, hello? He brought down Richard Nixon. I have to say, though, I am a little peeved at Bob Woodward because he sat on this information for months so he could get his book published and get a great book deal out of the thing. The publishers said they weren't aware of what was in it. But 200,000 Americans have died, almost. And the sooner we could have known and started taking action, the fewer deaths we would have. People would still die. It would still spread. But we may have been able to get it under control. It was kind of like with the AIDS crisis in the 80s. There was a window we had where we could have controlled the disease. And we missed it because the government, Reagan, wouldn't even utter the word for years. And so you end up having with protests like ACT UP happening. And I was involved with AIDS Project Los Angeles, and at the time, because I was living in LA through part of it, but I sort of became politically active because of AIDS. But there was a window we all missed. And of course, it's now a global pandemic, as is COVID. And it's just this lack of responsibility, lack of caring. It's mind-blowing that the mighty dollar, the image that the president wants to maintain, was more valuable than tens of thousands of American lives. As I said, we would still have it. It would still be a pandemic, but maybe not to the level it reached, because the United States accounts for 1/4 of all cases on the planet. So we're one country alone that is driving those numbers. Um, and yes, we're a large population country, but Brazil and India are larger in population than the United States, from what I understand, and they've got it bad, but not as bad as we did. China got it under control, and they're definitely much larger than the United States. We could have done something, and we missed that window because of the stupidity of the president. So to me, it's like he's got blood on his hands, but people are trying to still somehow or other defend him, even though he's on the record. I mean, his voice is there's recordings of it. As I say, if Bob Woodward came to me and said, I want to interview you and I want to record you, I say, no, thank you. Because God knows what I would say, and he's got it on tape. He should have, but Trump doesn't pay attention. He thinks he's God. I'm sure he doesn't want to think of himself as Nixon, though he's so paranoid. God, that press release today, or press conference today, or yesterday, he sounded unhinged. But he's been sounding unhinged for quite some time. Anyway, I'm rambling, but yeah, so it's my birthday, 55, single. I did nothing today. I did nothing. I was going to do dishes, and I was going to do laundry, and I was going to clean and vacuum. No. I parked it all day long. I played Candy Crush. I watched YouTube. I watched Netflix. I've been watching Netflix. Oh, Lucifer. I'm addicted to that show. Oh my God. Lucifer is such a great show. I've heard how good it is, and I'm so addicted to it. That's my new passion right now. I'm actually catching up right now. I took a break from it to watch The Rain, which is a European mystery sci-fi thriller. And it's the last season. I'm midway through season 3, so it's actually pretty good. Season 3 isn't as good as the first 2 seasons, but I'm catching up on my shows. It was just nice to be a slug. I've been doing this challenge thing. If you follow me on Facebook, I walk a lot. I'm doing this job with the census, which has me walking a lot. Well, I signed up because one of my life bucket list items was to do the Camino de Santiago de Compostela, which is a pilgrimage route that has been done for centuries by pilgrims from basically the Aquitaine, France to Santiago de Compostela, and there's a church there. And so there's 480.9 miles, 772 kilometers of walking. So it takes days, months to do that walk. Well, this virtual challenge is the name of the app. Is for those of us who like to exercise and walk. What they do is you can sign up for the app and basically choose a route. You say when you're going to try to meet your goal of completing the route. So they have like the Appalachian Trail, they have the Camino de Santiago, they have Hadrian's Wall, they have Route 66, very famous walking or driving routes. They have the Inca Trail, I think I said that anyhow, very famous paths. And you can sign up. You have to pay. It's not free. But it keeps track of you as if you were there. So as you're doing your exercise and walking or running or jogging, you can look at your phone and see the scenery of where you are there instead of here in Dallas. So I've put in 80 miles in the last 12 days of walking. But today I didn't do anything because I was a slug. So I took the whole day off. But yeah, it's the coolest thing because I'm actually keeping track of the route. It keeps track of me as if I was there. And I'm getting to see all the scenery and the location and all of this that I would be doing if I was actually walking it, even though I'm here in Dallas. So it's not the same exactly as being there, but I'm putting in the miles because it matches you step per step. Every step I take here is a step over there. They sent me a t-shirt that says I'm currently doing it. And then if I reach my goal, I gave myself till December 31st of this year to accomplish this challenge. Travel 480.9 miles on foot. I'm ahead by over like 23 miles at the moment, except today I took off, so probably only ahead by 19 miles. So I'll get it done probably before my deadline. So, and if I do accomplish it, they send you a nice medal. Like, yay, you completed this challenge. So yeah, I committed to it. And so I'm like, as I'm doing the census, I'm giving myself extra steps. And then I'm going up and down steps for the census for apartment complexes as I'm going up and down hills there in Spain and France. I just went over a mountain range in between France and Spain. It's not the biggest mountain range, but I was climbing up steps in Dallas as if I was going up the mountain there. So it was kind of funny. I was paralleling what I'm doing here to there, and it's keeping track of where I am. Anyhow, so that's my thing. And for all the amount of walking I've been doing, have I lost any weight? No, but boy, my thighs and my butt's looking really sexy, because the bottom half of me is getting in really good shape because I have put in, well, think about it, 12 days. Who walks 80 miles in 12 days? Not many people. So yeah, I'll keep that up. Anyway, that's my news, and I'm catching you guys up because I've not been posting because I've been so busy with the census, which I'm loving doing. This is kind of a fun job. Masterword, who I do interpretations, is like begging me to go do cases, but like I gave myself off certain days of the week so I could work for them, and then they didn't use me. And then I set up, I made my commitment to the census for other days, and those days they're going, hey, we can use you. And it's like, I was available these days, and you didn't use me. Anyway, it'll all work out. The census is paying really well, though, because they're allowing us to do overtime, because there's such a, we're trying to get as many people in as possible, and they're paying us a little extra if we work in the evenings or on the weekends. So my weekends, I'm pulling in 10, 11 hour shifts on the weekends. So it's weekend pay, plus, it's a good pay, plus the weekend bonus, plus evening bonus, because if I work some in the evening, plus overtime. So I might as well make my money there, because it's always unpredictable since I'm self-employed. Anyway, love you guys a bunch. Thank you for following me. Thank you for all the wonderful birthday wishes that you guys have been sending me via Facebook and social media. I really appreciate it. Be safe. Be sure to like, subscribe to this channel. Give it a thumbs up, please. Share this video if you want, or if you watch more than 2 of these videos, please subscribe. And don't forget to wear a mask, and make sure you did your census, because it's important that we get counted. Have a good one. Bye.